Degenerate woman exploited by the left-wing psychopathology, low verbal IQ. Degenerate woman exploited by the left-wing psychopathology, low verbal IQ. Degenerate woman exploited by the left-wing psychopathology, low verbal IQ. The left exploits women because it's easier to exploit people with low verbal IQs, and studies and science show this, where proclivity to abide in left-wing authoritarianism is positively correlated with the feminine personality distribution and low verbal IQ. And these women, on top of that, are told that they're good people as a result of representing and adhering to the cult of identitarianism and inverted victimhood hierarchies. Oh, you can call yourself a victim? You're a good person. Oh, you can say that you're smarter than Elon Musk? You're automatically a good person. Elon Musk, bad person. He's never said or done anything good in his life. In fact, Elon Musk might be he might be the most incompetent person the world has ever seen, because what they do is they invert reality, and when you correct them, they call themselves victims. This is the playbook of the left, and they need people who are low verbal IQ and don't adhere to reality to enforce this mode of operation. So, you know how I always talk about women being especially triggered when the country wins, or basically whenever the left is refuted and judged ultimately for its degeneracy and reality denial. Today is a very special day because we have three crystallized examples of this. One AOC, one something I can't say on YouTube, and one blatant enemy of America. With the most competent men literally in the world, not just the nation, in the world, Elon Musk has been able to accomplish what governments haven't been able to accomplish. Yada yada, the list goes on. I don't need to talk about his resume. Even Elon Musk's haters admit that he is a genius. We have a phenomenon which I talk about a lot, being that women, especially on the left, seem to have no problem with saying the opposite of the truth. Now, the cost for this is less when the competent men are in power, because the world can be saved, it can be made better, and we continue to make progress. And so people tend to take it less seriously. But it's still a problem, because if they were in power, then this degeneracy would be made, it would be reflected in the law of the land, in the culture itself. So it's very important that we recognize that women on the left are fundamentally, and I mean this literally, psychologically and cognitively disabled. And they are disabled insofar as they say the opposite of the truth. That, in my opinion, is a far worse psychiatric diagnosis than most mental illnesses. Saying compulsively, pathologically, the opposite of the truth every single time you have an opportunity, but while simultaneously believing that you're a good person. I mean, that would fit a psychiatric diagnosis that is worse than bipolar, worse than schizophrenia in many cases. And if you've studied psychology like I have for thousands of hours, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is literally a psychopathology that is being propagated to people. Now, I'll start with AOC because people are mocking her across the internet. This is getting the most amount of attention probably out of any of the three of these women. And it's funny, it's disturbing. Most people are just laughing at her, but to me, it's rather serious.
This dude is probably.
So I'll back up for a second. AOC went on an unhinged rant about Elon Musk again. She's suffering from severe EDS, Elon derangement syndrome. Libs of TikTok posted this video. AOC has this habit of starting up Instagram lives and talking about men that are more impressive than her in a disparaging way.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met.
Think about that. One of the most unintelligent billionaires she's ever met. Well, in terms of the competition of billionaires, he's the most competent one, if we're just to take the hierarchy of competition in terms of that meritocracy. But that's not even taking into account what he's accomplished, which is quite literally more than the United States government, with trillions of dollars behind it and hundreds of thousands of man hours and the ability to hire people from NASA. He's been able to accomplish more than what they were able to accomplish in space travel. Again, this is only space travel, not even talking about electric vehicles. This man has single-handedly reshaped human destiny among the stars. This woman was elected to Congress by single, overweight, miserable, resentful women and effeminate men because she opposed the competent masculine patriarchy and meritocracy. It's important to realize that leftism is fundamentally a cult which is antithetical to any coherent system. Another way of saying that is they worship anti-truth. They say the opposite of reality. They go to war with anything that judges them as inadequate, which of course is reality itself. This is why I say all the time, Also, why we see approval ratings for the left wing party at only 31%. The Democratic Party has imploded because they're not a political identity. They're a warfare club, a tribal warfare club with reality itself. And that is a perfect description of what you're seeing here. Elon Musk, one of the most recognized geniuses of our time, revolutionizing multiple fields of industry, the hardest, most inspiring fields of industry.
Billionaires I have ever met or seen.
So she laughs as if she knows what she's saying is absurd, which she does. But remember, that's not a priority to them, because they actually place reality at a lower priority than adherence to the cult. Adherence to the cult means saying the opposite of the truth and engaging in identity politics, identitarianism, meaning that if somebody's in the wrong identity class, there's no good qualities they can have. This is why the left so totally demonizes people. He cannot be competent. He cannot be smart. He cannot be a good force for anything. He can never say anything true because he has the wrong identity. This is why the left is so toxic. This is why they were refuted and judged ultimately in the election, because they are existential threats to humanity. But they do this while believing themselves to be good people, which is why it's so twisted, dark, and evil. Right? So AOC smart, Elon Musk not smart. This is how the left actually. This is how they think. But this video is about how the left exploits low verbal IQ feminine psychopathologies. So check this video out too.
Listen, I am tired of the white tears.
You're going to have the same variable of demonizing people and slandering those who don't occupy a good status in the membership cult, something I referenced earlier in the video.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into
what are you talking about? So first of all, if you're saying white tears are your enemy won and is victorious and literally just vanquished DEI. We literally removed DEI. We won. So nobody's crying. You're literally on TV crying, first of all. So you see even the left inverting truth on the subliminal level.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not.
Like we just won.
Not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day.
No, actually, you are concerned if you're competent, if people who are undeserving of your space get your spot. In fact, that would be considered not just a concern, but an existential crisis and a precursor to the collapse of civilization. It really is sad how the left has exploited this woman and is basically using her in a way that Democrats used Black people hundreds of years ago. I'll just say that.
You know why I don't feel away and why you can't make me doubt who I am? Is because
and she's sitting with another one. So she just admitted that she questions her competence because, in fact, she is incompetent. It's really sad. Again, the left is exploiting this woman.
I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as.
Like they probably tell her, you did have to work 10 times as hard. Or, yes, you are a really good speaker. You probably are very smart. In fact, you're so smart, you're probably smarter than Elon Musk. The left has no qualm saying things that are disconnected with reality. And this is why they prey on women's psyches. Because when people lie, women buy. Marketers know this. It's why commercials that are marketed towards women always use more emotion. They always use marketing tactics that are not really based on making sense. Women eat lies up because their brains aren't designed to interface with objective reality in the same way men's are on average. That, of course, doesn't mean that all women can't interface with reality in very competent ways, but it means on average, women are not built that way. One reason, there are many reasons, but one reason why men are predisposed biologically to engage with objective reality is because we have to compete with other men for our value, whereas women have value bestowed upon them automatically. If a guy is not prioritizing reality, that means that he is not able to fundamentally compete because he can't orient himself, he can't aim at an ideal, and he gets utterly surpassed in virtually every domain by other men who are able to engage with objective reality, not to mention, of course, he gets bullied. All of that is just one reason why, technically speaking, men biologically engage with reality better on average.
They did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert.
Oh, it's unfortunate here. Because again, the left tells her she's competent. The left tells her, you can speak very well. You can speak so good. It's very clear when you speak, in fact. You're the most competent person we have. You're more competent than Elon Musk. It's sad because the left exploits these people.
There is no comparison, and that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that
the life you've all right. Yeah, it's a sad lie. It's very twisted.
They're crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to.
You see the inversion of truth there by saying the mediocre people who are more competent when DEI was the law of the land were beaten out when in fact they were not even looked at, and the less competent people were chosen instead. So this is in response to them being held accountable in the same way a psychopath would react to being held accountable. They don't believe in revisiting their positions or using logic or reason. Instead, they're just saying, I'm a victim, therefore I'm a good person, which is what she's trying to say here. So what has happened is that DEI has been thrown out, and now it's a meritocracy, whereas before DEI was on the website of every single government entity, every single company virtually. They had a DEI program. Now that's gone. So now it's a meritocracy. But she's saying, because left inverts reality, that now it's not a meritocracy, and before it was, even though it's the opposite. So this is the way they operate. Moving on to this third degenerate female psyche, which inverts reality. This one is another interesting tone of delusion, not just delusion, embodied psychopathology. That's a better way of thinking about it. She talks about how she, as a congressperson, is overtly an enemy of America. There's no other way of saying this. Take a listen.
xildhibaanad ilhaan cumar oo dhowaan la hadashay saxaafadda dadka sharciga aan haysan
Advise people who are living in the country illegally.
ee ku nool dalkan.
waxaan ula talinayaa dadka Soomaalida ah haddii ay
She's advising Somalian people, if ICE attempts to question you,
maxaa la dhahaa ii sheeg ICE ay isku dayaan inay ku su'aalaan
this is a sitting congressperson.
maku qasban tihid inaad su'aalahooda aad ka jawaabtid.
She's teaching illegal immigrants how to obfuscate and subvert the outcome of justice, which is illegal immigrants being deported. And this is not a controversial thing. Like, I don't have to pretend as though it's somehow unpopular when, in fact, polls show the majority of Americans support deporting illegal immigrants. The majority of American citizens support deporting illegal immigrants, and they voted as such objectively in a massive margin. So this is not just unpopular, but it's the opposite of what America is aiming for. Breaking the law. She's advocating for breaking the law. Elon Musk tweets, of course, that this woman is breaking the law here, and it's very sad because leftists elected this person. They're enemies with the law. They're enemies with civilization. They want more illegal aliens in the country. They don't want less, even though the majority of Americans want less.
waxaad dhihi kartaa lawyer aan i advice garay inaanan ku jawaabin qasab ma aha magacaa.
She's advising people on how to stay in the country if they are illegal, because this is the agenda of the left. They're enemies with civilization. But notice, degenerate woman exploited by the left-wing psychopathology, low verbal IQ. Degenerate woman exploited by the left-wing psychopathology, low verbal IQ. Degenerate woman exploited by the left-wing psychopathology, low verbal IQ. The left exploits women because it's easier to exploit people with low verbal IQs, and studies and science show this, where proclivity to abide in left-wing authoritarianism is positively correlated with the feminine personality distribution and low verbal IQ. And these women, on top of that, are told that they're good people as a result of representing and adhering to the cult of identitarianism and inverted victimhood hierarchies. Oh, you can call yourself a victim? You're a good person. Oh, you can say that you're smarter than Elon Musk? You're automatically a good person. Elon Musk, bad person. He's never said or done anything good in his life. In fact, Elon Musk might be the most incompetent person the world has ever seen, because what they do is they invert reality. And when you correct them, they call themselves victims. This is the playbook of the left, and they need people who are low verbal IQ and don't adhere to reality to enforce this mode of operation. That's the reason why this common thread exists in all of these women here. If you liked what I said here, subscribe to the channel. Our channel's blacklisted. We're demonetized. So click the link in the description, scroll down and become a member. It's very cheap and it supports what I'm doing here. If you're watching, you should count yourself lucky because this channel is really, really blacklisted. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next video.